What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. They say that hindsight is 2020, and I figured with this year being 2020, also marks 3 years since the beef between ICP and Twiztid first really started, and the Juggalo divide was humongously created. I would take this time to just kind of reflect back on my feelings at that point and just kind of the point that I've gotten to now and how I look at it. I know some people still think that I absolutely hate Twiztid. I've been called a 17%er. I've shown love to MNE still, and in some rare occasions been called a Twizzler. So just to kind of reflect on what happened, where my mindset was then and where my mindset is now. Because I'm able to see things differently now than I was then. Everything was so new, and the videos that I made in 2017, I made kind of impulsively. I just simply turned on the camera and was talking about how I felt about what was happening. It took me until about October of that year to realize that I was wasting a lot of my own energy into making videos that people feel passionately about on the opposite side. And that was when I realized, that was kind of when my first eyes opened to the beef and just to the matter of difference in opinion and being a bigger person and just kind of walking away from it. So 2017 was actually a really big year for my channel. I gained the most subscribers that year than I have ever. My channel made the most money that year than it ever has. I think I made like a little over $200 through Google AdSense purely off of the videos that I made, primarily talking about the shit going on between ICP and Twiztid. My second biggest video to date is talking about Tech9's diss to Violent J. So it was a good year as far as views and subscribers go, but it was ultimately a bad year because the content I was making was very negative in a lot of ways. And I decided in October that I was just done. I made the video saying that I was done with Twiztid, but I think it was so heavily misunderstood what I was trying to say. I wasn't saying that I'm never, ever going to fuck with Twiztid again. To an extent, yes. But what I was trying to say in that video was I was done making videos about them. I was done giving them the power to make me feel a certain way. And ultimately, where I'm at now with how I feel about Twiztid, it isn't even what happened between ICP and Twiztid. It ain't even about the Juggalo March, primarily. My dislike for Twiztid started happening when you started hearing all the shit that they were saying about the march. Not the fact that they were declining it, but the fact that they were downplaying it, they were talking shit against it, and ultimately got to the point where they were down-talking a lot of juggalos for how strongly they felt about the march. The video that kind of got me to that point where I was like, I'm done, was the leaked audio of Jamie Madrox talking to some person in VIP about it and shit like that. That was just kind of like my point of like I felt in the moment I didn't know who they were anymore, and I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So I was just to the point where I was like, I don't even want to fucking give them the power to make me feel that way. A lot of the dislike for Twiztid is more so a dislike for Monoxide. I think the way that he's been going on social media, primarily his wake and bake live stream sessions that he's done on Facebook, I feel the way that he's behaved publicly has been arrogant, and in a lot of ways it's just turned me off to them because I feel a certain arrogance from them, and that you may not feel that way, but I feel that way. I know I've said it before, when I was at Gathering 17, there was something in the atmosphere that changed the day that Twiztid was setting up their Twiztid Shop booth and the night that they were supposed to do Wizard of the Hood. There was a certain atmosphere that changed, especially seeing the crew workers and the MNE t-shirts walking around the gathering. I didn't know how to describe it. It was very awkward. And I ultimately think it may be arrogance that they were, they were kind of like coming into the gathering like, yeah, we run this bitch, like we know we're a top act. So my dislike for Twiztid just kind of grew from feeling a certain arrogance from them. I, for years after they left Psychopathic, continued to give them my support. And like most people, it was like they were giving sneak disses here and there. But even then, I still tried to defend them like they're just speaking how they feel and writing it off as them expressing how they felt about something. But when it came to ICP's interview that dropped 3 years ago today, where they were talking about their masters and just how Twiztid were behaving towards ICP from a business side, it just, for me, it was, I put myself in ICP's shoes. I put myself in Violent J's shoes. The fact that they signed Young Wicked, while I still think to this day that was a very bad decision, it was a good business decision, but it was a bad personal decision. It's something that Tech Nine was able to not do. When Funk Volume collapsed, there's actually an interview where he has said that he had thought about signing Hopsin and a few of the Funk Volume artists, but he knew if he did, some of the drama from that split would come to Strange Music, and he's like, I didn't want any of that. That's something Twiztid should have done. They should have, when Young Wicked reached out to them, or I don't know fully how that situation was. I don't know if Young Wicked reached out to them or if they reached out to him. That's something that they should have sat down and been like, look, we think you're a great artist. We think you'd be a great fucking talent, but we're not trying to start any issues with anybody at Psychopathic, so we'll have to respectfully decline it. To me, it was a conflict of interest. It's something they should have been aware of. From a business stance, yes, it was a good move because he is a great producer. He's a great musician. So from that stance, yes, that was a good move. But on a personal side, it wasn't. And I know people are like, fuck personal, keep it all business. I think they could have handled that whole situation differently, and that was ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back. The whole master situation, people know I had made videos on Carnival Spirits about it. When they were re-releasing their albums from Psychopathic Records and the Hatchet Man was gone, to me, it felt like they were trying to erase that they were ever on Psychopathic Records. And at the time, I didn't know what was going on. It took that interview to say, they were basically extorting us for these masters. Now, not completely faulting them. Again, this is a good business move because now they have the masters. They can re-release the music. On Violent J's side or ICP side, I don't want to just say one particular person when I say this. So I'm going to try to stick to ICP and Twiztid because there's multiple people involved in everything that happened. So from ICP's point, or from ICP's stance, what they should have done is they should have renegotiated a deal where they will get access to them so that they can re-release new music, where the Hatchet Man stays on there. They can add the MNE logo on there if they want to. Basically just allow them to repress them. Completely giving them up, that was a fault of ICP. They never should have done that. That was a very bad decision, and it's one that they acknowledge now after the fact. A big thing that has happened since the beef ignited is I have been able to step back and take a look at even ICP and Psychopathic Records. I still rep the Hatchet. I'm a huge fucking fan of everything that's come out of Psychopathic Records primarily. There are some acts that I've never really bought their albums, and there's some that I'm just now starting to get into, like Esham. Psychopathic Records, if people tell me that it's dead, I would say no, because of where MNE is now. It exists because of Psychopathic Records. Psychopathic Records now, though, it seems to have dissolved back into just ICP. ICP and Ouija Mac. I'm not a fan of Ouija Mac. I respect what he does, the grind that he's got, the following he's amassed, but I don't care for his music, so you know what I mean? It's just not something that I buy and support because I don't really like it. But when it comes down to Psychopathic Records these days, I look at them as purely dissolving back to what they used to be, and that is ICP. And in the past, I've said Psychopathic Records dies with Insane Clown Posse, and Insane Clown Posse is still doing what they're doing. I wish they'd step it up a little bit. I wish they were more consistent. I see that they canceled another tour. I'm not going to dive into what happened behind that, but it seems like there's missed opportunities ICP has that I feel they're not executing properly, but you know what I mean? They've been doing it for so long that who am I to say what they're doing isn't good? They're obviously doing something good because they've continued doing what they're doing for so many years, but I've been able to step back and take a look at what ICP, in my eyes, they're not doing right. And I'm able to just, I wish they'd do things differently, but it's out of my control completely. And I've been able, I made the videos, everything wrong with Psychopathic Records and everything right with Magic Ninja Entertainment. So I don't want to dive too much back into that whole topic, but that is the one big thing that I feel ICP in that situation could have done differently. You know, they never should have given up those masters. They should have re-signed deals. I honestly, I don't know why they don't. I mean, you go look at Strange Music, and they still sell a lot of their former artists' records on their website. To me, it's why would you never not repress an album that's, especially one that's still selling? You know what I mean? Repress these albums that Twiztid was wanting to get the masters of, sign a contract with them, letting them get like a better percentage of the profits from the sales so that they can fund their new label. I just think that was a humongously missed opportunity from ICP that could have saved that relationship, that friendship. But I can see a lot of things from Twiztid's point of view now, and a lot of that comes from the fact that I used to be a member of the YouTube group Carnival Spirits. Not diving into what happened, but I got into a point where I didn't agree with the way the channel or the group was basically being led. And I just kind of pulled myself out. And then finally at the end of 2017, when they started adding new members, I just took that as my opportunity to completely exit. I had just gone through a breakup. I was trying to focus more on myself anyway. So through that kind of stance, and as an outsider looking in now, I can still, there's things that, and I'm not trying to start any fucking shit, but I look at the way that they do things and how I would do them differently. And so I can see how maybe that's something Twiztid did themselves. Do I think they should have signed Boondocks? Do I think they should have signed Blaze? Blaze, yes. Blaze was their homie. But signing Boondocks, signing Young Wicked, those are very massive conflict of interest that they very well should have avoided. You know, when I left Carnival Spirits, I told them that I'm not going to go pull a Twiztid. I wasn't going to go start a new YouTube group and try to bring people from that channel. You know what I mean? I can see through their point of view a lot more now through my own experience now, having been part of a group and leaving that group. That's kind of the awakening that I have had. But ultimately, where I stand with Twiztid now, I don't like the way that they've presented themselves online, the way that they've badmouthed the Juggalo March, the way that they've badmouthed some Juggalos. And granted, a lot of Juggalos have come at them, so for them to become the bad guy that these Juggalos were making them out to be, it's understandable, but I think it's something they probably should have just kept biting their tongue. They should have just kept looking the other way. But I mean, I guess enough is enough. It's pretty much what happened with my love for Gmo Ski. It got killed pretty quick, man. I was all about him at the end of 2016 because, you know, I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. But as that beef was unfolding and he's going online and he's talking shit about Juggalos, he's talking shit about Fagel lovers because they're making stories promoting his stuff, and he's going around saying, I don't need your fucking help, don't do this shit. There's a lot of respect there completely just demolished by themselves. So where I stand with them, it's not even about the beef. It's the way that they've behaved in a public eye. And to ask the question, if ICP and Twiztid were to work shit out and they were to start doing shit together again, would I forgive and forget everything that's happened? I would say no. It would take a significant explanation and probably an apology for their behavior, just because that's ultimately what has turned me off to them. I wouldn't even say I have a hatred, but my dislike of them is things that they've done or things that they've said or the way that they've portrayed themselves. And it's just been like, you know, I'm good. Like, I'm not a fan of Eminem because I think he's an arrogant fuck. You know, a lot of people put him on a pedestal, and so I'm very turned off to Eminem. And ultimately, that's kind of what's happened with Twiztid is I felt that they became arrogant, and it was kind of like if you guys are so good, you don't need me to support you kind of thing. So that's pretty much just where I'm at with Twiztid, with Gmo Ski. I still support the acts on there that I like. and that's never going to change. If if they were to come out and publicly apologize, do I think I would start to support them? Yes. I mean, my mom always taught me forgiveness is very powerful. So there's a day that I could re-enjoy Twiztid. I still listen to their old shit. It's just there's something about them now that seems so different, and I don't like it. And I know a lot of people. Juggalo 972 is a big one that said you just make it about the music, and it's impossible for me to do that. I see somebody acting a certain way, and I'm so turned off to them that hearing them, it's not something that I do. I've had a hard time listening to their old shit because it's like just to know how they've become now. It's like damn, it's very difficult. So I see fault in ICP's side. There's faults that I've pointed out in Twiztid side. Uh, Everything I did in 2017, I was making videos to just put my point of view out there. And ultimately, the amount of fucking backlash that I received from the people that love and support Twiztid was like, it was so much. One of the reasons I stopped was because it was just constant negative comments, talking shit, to the point where I actually got a message from the homie over on Hatchet Reviews saying, hey, there's this guy in this Twiztid group wanting to find you and fucking hurt you. And like he showed me a screenshot of this guy wanting to find out where I was because he wanted to come fucking, what was his exact wording? I think it was knock my teeth out so I can't keep talking shit about Twiztid. And it's like, I'm not trying to talk shit about. I wasn't trying to talk shit about Twiztid. I was just expressing how I felt about the situations as they happened. It ultimately kind of killed the My Two Cents videos for a while because I wasn't as willing to go out there and share my opinion because it's like people were getting so fucking worked up over it. It's like Jesus Christ, dude, can we not disagree? So that was ultimately why I stopped making so many My Two Cents videos, and so many of them were about Twiztid and shit happening. It's just I got to the point where I was like, I don't care what they do, let them do it. Let them do what they're gonna do. I was just about enjoying what I want to enjoy, uh, and that's just the mindset that I've carried on since then. So I think the love and support for Twiztid could be restored, but it's gonna take something from them in order for that to happen. So the thing that I hate the most is that the divide exists because you have people on both sides just at Jay's throat, at Twiztid's throat, at anybody that tries to support either or. It sucks. It sucks that the beef ever had to happen, but I mean, I get it. Just everybody kind of got to their limits, and I think the best thing that's happening is what should just continue to happen. I think they should just continue to do their own thing. When the time is right, I think they will eventually mend fences, but I don't think we're there yet. They've just got to continue to keep doing their own thing. I think having the little shout out from Lil Shank, I don't think it's an olive branch. I think it's just I think it's a nod. It's a tip of the hat saying, I hope you guys are doing good because we're doing our thing. And that's where I think they just need to continue to go. It could eventually lead to mended fences. It could eventually lead to more Dark Lotus. Who knows? If it doesn't, I'm happy with the Dark Lotus we have. I just want to see them do their own thing and people just stop fucking attacking each other. It's not going to happen, but that's what I would love to see happen. So, damn, I've rambled on for like 20 fucking minutes. So I'm going to end this here. That's just my little reflection about the shit that happened. You know, some of the reasons, the videos I made, why I made them, how I felt about a lot of the situations, and just really kind of where I'm at now and how I feel about them, and just my perspective on it all now, 3 years later. 2020 is hindsight, and I'm looking at that situation in hindsight. I should have done different. I should have done videos differently, but I didn't, and I don't regret doing the videos that I did because that was the whole point, was to just put my opinion out there, put how I'm feeling out there, and people agreed with me. A lot of people didn't agree with me. A lot of people fucking hated me because of the shit that I felt. So it is what it is. I look to the future, doing what I do, loving what I love, and not even focusing on the shit that I don't. So I hope that there's some wisdom here that people can take from this. If not, hit the dislike, tell me how much I fucking suck in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.